Welcome back to another episode of The Clean Truth. I am Dawson Holt.
I'm Ben Jones, and today we have two very, very special guests. We have Alex Mancillas and Haley Glass Mancillas joining us. How are we doing tonight?
Feeling good. Feeling good. We're excited to be on, man. Thanks for having us.
Awesome. Oh, of course. Thanks for jumping on. We're excited. It's going to be a good time. Going to chat it up a little bit, hang out, answer some questions that all the people are wanting to know the answers to.
So for all the for the millions.
That's right. So, man, you guys have been pretty busy recently, huh?
Yeah, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of all of that.
Okay, nice. So we had a somewhat semi-important event happen somewhat recently. You guys got married.
I would semi-important now.
Look at that. Oh,
wow.
Wait, show that again.
Show it one more time for the cat. Okay, you go first. Yeah.
See that?
And then
Haley. Wow. We're blinging over here. Okay. So, man, just about a week ago, we had the wedding. You guys got married. All right.
that's enough.
You kind of had to do it. I know. That's my fault.
No.
So, wedding was about a week ago. Everything happened. I did it again. It was an amazing time. We were lucky enough to be there, but just kind of dive in. It's only been about a week, but what's the married life like? What was the wedding like? Give us a quick rundown.
You want me to go first?
Yeah.
First. I think. Well, first off, it was the best day, best night of my life. That I got to spend with all of my with family. Not just from our literal friends, but from our karate family. It all came together, both sides, and it was really, really cool for me to have most, if not all, of JPM there, because the team is we say it all the time. It's goes beyond the ring. We're more than just a team. We're family, and to have Coach Chris marry us was pretty awesome. And I think to be able to share it with, like I said, our teammates, our family, and both of our parents, it was incredible. I would definitely, like, we did our first dance. We did a unique one. Shout out to our MC Chris Yorka, and I said, our love story is a movie that we've created, and I'd rewatch it again and create it again if I could. So it was pretty amazing.
I think it was so cool because I feel like a lot of like all the important aspects of our lives kind of like merged together, and it merged together so nicely. Like everybody got along in such a great way, and like I just the amount of stories we got from that day, but there was pre-wedding, post-wedding, the wedding
During the
itself,
wedding.
during the wedding. I think it's wild, but it's like all for the memories. Like I'm so happy that that day brought just so many insane adventures and moments that I think a lot of us will remember for a lifetime. And the weather was beautiful. Having it
thank
on
goodness.
the rooftop.
Thank
I
goodness.
think I've been the day before was a bit windy. So
Yeah.
I was very happy that weather held out. Mostly everybody made it safely, thankfully, and the food was pretty great. I heard from multiple sources.
It was.
Cake was
It was
amazing.
good.
Like everything just panned out exactly how I think we wanted it, and even better. And this past week it's been a lot of moments where I'm like, I'm married. What the heck? That's crazy. And
It's been a lot.
I've always been like, good morning, husband, just to say it.
Good morning, wife. It's my wife.
There it is.
I was waiting for that. Yeah, no, I just like she was saying, I think for both of us, it's just a matter of I don't want to say getting used to it, but in a way getting used to that. We've been together, we've grown together, and now it's about taking this next step and taking what God has blessed us with and just grow.
If you guys hear some like background noise, that is just our dog. He is kind of going off the rails right now.
That is our son. That is our son.
Hi, Emma.
Hi, Emma.
That would probably be a good segue to say that that's your son, because some people are probably looking at parenthood down here and freaking out just a little bit. So, to be clear, what are we talking about here when it comes to parenthood?
We got a puppy, my dream dog, actually. A lot of people think I'm crazy because we got him like a week before the wedding. So a lot of people are like, "What are you doing?" But his name is
This is
Blaze.
Blaze.
Words.
Boys.
He's named after the place Alex and I had our first date, Blaze Pizza, here in Atlanta, actually. He is a crackhead,
What you doing? What you doing?
but
Or no.
What you doing?
but he is the cutest puppy I think I've ever seen.
He's gotten a lot of personality recently,
Yes.
and it's both good and a bad thing at the same time. But no, it's all great. It's all great. So Blaze says hi to everybody. Break, break.
Oh,
Dolphin Blitz.
Only real ones know.
That's right.
Awesome.
Well, yeah, some of you guys are now people getting onto this live stream. Hopefully, you guys can see on the bottom of some of the
Shout
stuff
out
that we're going to be
Elijah.
talking about. He's always on. He's our number one. You know, he's
Shout out
That's
to
What's
Elijah.
it right here?
yeah, he's great. So yeah, we're going to be having some good conversations all around, obviously, because we're all teammates. We've been teammates for a couple years now, but like,
Yeah.
I mean, not only teammates, but we've known each other for longer now. So, but I wanted to start off by transitioning and giving you guys an opportunity to talk about seminars, private lessons that you guys still contribute to the sport karate, and work with a lot of people and do seminars together. And it's a perfect duo. So you guys go ahead and take it away.
I think this last, for both of us, year and a half has been like, I guess, our hottest season yet, and it's because we really prioritized it and like made the effort to do as much as we can, whether it's seminars, camps, private lessons, group lessons, all that kind of thing. And it has honestly been the best year and a half, I think, of both of our lives, partially for that reason. I think we've gotten to just teach and share our love for the sport with thousands and thousands of kids, adults, parents, instructors. Like it's been really amazing. We've spent so many years finding the cheat codes, finding out what works, what doesn't, what are the hidden gems of what we do. And so being able to just share that and see how it so quickly can transform a student's like martial arts career has just been so rewarding.
Sorry, Blaze just knocked himself out. I'm so sorry. Sorry. Keep going.
But I think it's been lovely. Like we've had seminars that we've had 7 kids, and we've had seminars with 70 kids. And so I think us learning as instructors and becoming better instructors just on how to handle the crowds or the smaller groups has been insanely fun. And I think I didn't realize I would like it as much as I do. Alex just taught a great seminar yesterday. I'm traveling to Wisconsin to do a mini seminar tour out there. I love what we do, and we're busy all of the time for that reason. We're like, it's tournaments, or it's seminars, or we're traveling to teach somebody, or we're training here and we're competing. Like it's a constant hustle. But I think this has been the best part of my sport karate career, is getting to travel and teach what I love with so many kids, especially the ones who aren't really privy to like the tournament scene. I feel like I've met I've been to a lot of schools that aren't really tournament heavy. So even the most simple stuff to us is like insane to them. So getting to kind of see those reactions, I think, has been quite amazing.
Awesome.
I think it's definitely allowed us to grow into people. To be honest, like I didn't expect to grow into this person, like to be able to book out a whole year and a half of seminars. Obviously shout out to both of our moms who raised us to be strong and have that hustle. But I really also want to say a huge thank you and shout out to Justin. Justin sat us down like one day and was like, hey, like,
here's how you do it.
Yeah, this is how you do it if you really want to do it. And he broke down like, basically even a budget for us and just an attack plan for seminars. And, it really has shaped us into the people we are today. And we have grown a lot. And I don't want to say we survived in Atlanta because, I feel like we thrived
Yeah.
in a way.
No, but it's allowed us to make a living, at least for this point in time of our lives, that we didn't realize would provide for us in such a way. And I think, I don't know if I can speak for everybody when I say this, but for quite some time, I would think about the idea of promoting myself and reaching out to schools and like school owners and just having these conversations as like me being too business focused. Let me just focus on the craft and it'll come to me. But me having the mindset of let me just reach out and see what happens has opened so many doors in such a positive way. Like I've impacted so many more students' lives because I decided to reach out, or I decided to open a conversation. So I think also for us, it's just like business mindset and like individuals in that way, entrepreneurs. It's opened both of our minds and given us a lot of new ideas that I feel like haven't been explored, and it's really worked for us. So we're very thankful and blessed to be able to do that right now.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love what you said too, Haley, about like you spend so many years figuring things out and for yourself. And then
Right.
you sometimes like, at least I felt this way. Sometimes it's like, what does this all lead to? Like,
Yeah.
where am I going after this competition thing
Yeah.
happens? And then you realize like there is so much that you learn that's going to be applied in whatever you do after you're done with competition, whether it's just like the character you build. I mean, we always talk about with the martial arts, it's always rooted in respect, discipline, integrity, all these different things that like shape people into who they become. Obviously there's other factors like just the way you're brought up with family, things like that too, but the things that we've learned from competition or the things that you've learned from just teaching kids private lessons or just competing, like it's priceless, honestly, and you don't even realize like how much of a benefit it could be.
Yeah.
And so I love how you said like we've spent years just almost like slaving away at trying to become who you are, and you're like, what is this all for? And it's always for a purpose.
I think also, like you're saying, having that plan, like as we get older, figuring out like what is our purpose in training. Sometimes that's my motivation to train. Sometimes days that I don't want to do it, it's like for example, we coach a team that I started. May will be 5 years ago, which is insane. Team All Out, and it's like, okay, I'm making them do all these things. Like, am I holding up my end? Or when I go to these seminars, like we went yesterday, and some people are like, yeah, we really like to watch you fight, like to watch you perform. We like to see you guys in Cobra Kai. So I think realizing that there's a bigger why in seminars, and it's another motivation, and also to travel, like you were saying, to like travel and teach all these people. It's such a blessing, such a blessing.
I think like one last thing to kind of add on to it. I think there's so much for us to learn too. Like the conversations I've had with some people at these seminars have been like literally life changing. I've opened my like mind up to new ideas. Thankfully I've had a lot of like school owners who kind of like have an idea for my business and my brand. I'm always open to kind of hearing it, because sometimes people are like, I have these ideas. I don't know if you want to hear them, because what you're doing is working, but I'm like, no, like tell me. And it's just like my mind does this. It expands so much because I'm like, you're right. I never thought about it this way. And it's helping me grow and helping my brand grow. Helping me just pour into the community better, and in a larger scale way.
Yeah, that's super cool. I like, Alex, you kind of just teased it a little bit, but you're saying, they love to watch you fight. They love to watch Haley perform. They love watching you guys in Cobra Kai, right? So we'll dive into some of the, that's a big deal. Dive into some of the stunt work, some of the projects that you guys have been either working on or have worked on, and a little bit of the experiences with that, because that's something that's pretty unique, that not everybody kind of taps into. So just kind of chat about that. What's that all been like?
So Cobra Kai 1 was, it's a huge dream, huge dream come true, because I'm pretty sure a lot of martial artists grew up watching the Karate Kid movies, watching Ralph Macchio, and, to see all that and how it took a spinoff on Netflix, and to realize there was a lot of martial artists that were eventually getting spots and roles, and to know that we can be stunt performers and have our own little moment, like that's pretty cool, and to realize that we moved out here for that reason, to chase that career, and to be able to have done that together with Haley, and then even with Justin, with Jules, a lot of other martial artists we know. Blaze is just gonna join us now. He's being a ruckus. Don't mind Blaze. He's just gonna but it's been really, really cool. That being on set was pretty awesome. It's a humbling experience. It's an exciting experience. The nerves are going. It's like a whole new set of nerves that I didn't even know I could experience. Like, I know we compete all the time, right? Like, even when I fight, obviously there's those nerves sometimes, but I always go back to my training. I go back to my preparation. I go back to, I know why I'm here and I know what I can do. And stunts was a little different. You're a white belt all over again. It's just like Coach Damon has always told us as fighters, it's like, stay a student. And I'm pretty sure you've heard that in different ways. But yeah, I think my favorite experience was obviously being on Cobra Kai. I did another film It's called Slingshot, with Tyrese Gibson and Dolph Lundgren from Rocky. To be honest, I have no idea if it's coming out or not, but I know I did it. So, but that was fun. It's different paces. I know I'll say a real quick story on my end, and she'll talk about some of her experiences. When for my set on Cobra Kai, when I fought Miguel, it was like we were having breakfast. We were having breakfast. We got there, and I was about to eat my pancakes, and then next thing you know, I think Justin Chang came in and was like, he's like, "Hey, Alex, I need you on set." And I literally got my pancakes and threw them in the trash. I was so sad. But hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. So we went, and next thing I know, they're about to have me rehearse these beats with the double, and then they're like, "All right, you're up." And I didn't even get a chance to rehearse them until I rehearsed them with Shiloh or Miguel there. Like, right, we did it like once or twice, and then like, "All right, sunset, set," and I was like, oh my goodness, I went from half asleep to like awake in 5 seconds.
Yeah.
And you have to make sure obviously you don't hit the actors and whatnot. But it was a very, very fun experience, and hoping for more.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I think
Wow.
like that just example because the same thing happened to me pretty much. Cole Eckert came and grabbed me and was like, "Hey, dude, we need you. I'm about to teach you this." And then we were about to run it, and he's like, "Oh, by the way, it's bow staff, and you're doing it opposite." He's like, "Left hand lead," and I was like, "Ah, this is so exciting. Thank you so much." Um, but I think as like forms competitors, we're always creating on the fly.
Hmm.
I'm sure you guys
Yeah.
can relate. Like even at a tournament, I'm like, but what if I do this and then I try it in a division? Like we're always kind of figuring things out, and I think that's what helped both of us out the most is the ability to like create something and run it full out like right after.
Yeah.
Because I think if not, like I would have not been good. But the experiences I've had have all been amazing. And what's been so nice about most of them is that we've done them with some of our best friends.
Mm.
Like when I did Logan, it was myself, Noel Jelson, Emma Teo, Aiden Kennedy, Selif was on it. A kid who competed back then, Enzo was hanging out with us. A girl, Nia Murphy, she was also on the circuit. Like it was all circuit kids.
Yeah.
So we got to kind of experience that all together. I think that was really fun. We were out there for a couple of weeks. So, the nerves, it was nice because we were all in it together. It was like not one
Mm.
person was kind of singled out. And then with Cobra Kai, so many martial artists that we knew, past, present, some future. Like it was just an amazing time. Since Cobra Kai, I was in season 2 of Beauty in Black. It's a Netflix original show.
Part two just dropped, by the way.
Yeah, the part 2 just dropped. It was absolutely insane.
Tyler Perry.
But it was actually really cool because the main actor I was working with, I had like a God conversation with him.
Oh.
Yeah, and it was like the wildest thing. Like I'm out here literally getting shot up like at a bus stop. And in our off time, like we're just sitting here chatting about like faith and whatnot, and then
Wow.
like it was just an interesting moment to kind of have that
Mm.
conversation. But that was a great time. And we're hoping to do a little bit more here in the future. We've done a couple of like pre-vises and stuff, so a lot of concept work. I actually did this thing, this like concept that hasn't quite come out yet, where I was actually lead actress on it.
Sweet.
And so that was challenging for me because it was really like the first time I had ever done acting. And
Mm.
what's been interesting, I think, about at least my journey here in Atlanta is I've gotten more opportunities for acting, I feel like, than I have for stunts.
Hmm.
When it comes to like just concept work and people call me, they're like, "Hey, I need you to say this line, or I need you to, be this person's sister," and like these little things that I'm doing. And then I had this opportunity where it was like super, super heavy, like just very emotionally like taxing. And I had to like navigate, how am I gonna sit here and bawl and crash out on camera, like tears and everything,
It's out of nowhere.
like out of nowhere. And I figured it out, and it was great. But it was really fun to kind of tap into that because I think you guys can probably relate. We enjoy being uncomfortable. I mean, that's the idea of competing. I feel like right before, like this nervousness, this uncomfy feeling, like we kind of crave it in a way, and then the adrenaline takes over once we start. But it
Yeah.
was the same thing here. I'm like, I'm so nervous. I've never done this before. Like I've got all these like people I look up to and whatnot, like in this room with me, and they're expecting me to go and do it. They know it's my first
Yeah.
time, but they care. Like they're expecting me to go and deliver. And that pressure was just what I needed, and it was a really fun time. So I'm hoping that more comes from that. But yeah, every experience we've had here has been nothing short of amazing.
That's awesome.
Wow, that is really cool. Excuse me, sorry. Um,
We love you, Dawson.
yeah, it's this type of year. There's pollen. So
man.
yeah,
Our
it's
cars are yellow. It's
yeah,
horrible.
Like,
same.
what?
So yeah, so I got this on standby, some water. So anyways, we'll go ahead. We'll keep moving along. I'll try my best not to, be too loud. But
John Cena.
right. Yeah, didn't you? Well, that just made me think because I know Justin Ortiz is still doing the wrestling thing right now. OXP, is he
The
still doing that right now? Is he
He
still
is.
doing that right now?
Killing it.
Okay. Now, didn't you try some of that stuff out, Alex?
I did. We actually
You
both
did.
did. It was it's super fun, man. It just goes back to like for me, a childhood like memory and story. This is insider that nobody really knows about me but my family. All right, so here we go.
Breaking news.
No. So when I was younger, my mom bought me this stuffed
not the Shrek.
like Shrek. And it was when I was smaller, it was roughly my size. So it was like an easy matchup, you know? He was probably like 3 feet tall. And I would wrestle that thing all the time as a kid. And if it wasn't Shrek, if I was out of town, it was a pillow.
Mhm.
And it made it work. And I say all that to say, like, to have that like growing up and to be doing that and then to like have the opportunity when we moved here and Justin was like, yeah, like come by and let's try it out. And like we got to work with Justin, with Darian. I got to work with Gresham, which is pretty cool. Like we got to train at, I don't know if y'all follow wrestling, but anybody that does, like Cody Rhodes, he's a native here to Atlanta, and he has a gym, a wrestling school here, and we got to like train there, and that was like really cool for me, especially as a huge wrestling fan growing up. But it's the performance aspect in a way relates to the forms because you got to be open, you got to be creative and whatnot. But also, it's very different. Those ropes are not too nice. Yeah. So like, I remember my first time running the ropes. I like finished practice and I had like a huge like line like down my back, like just red, just mark and like turns to a bruise. But it's really fun. If that's an opportunity that God calls us to, like, why not? We take it and run with it, because it's I really enjoy it, and I enjoy, I'm a huge wrestling fan, so
It's interesting. When I was younger, I wasn't totally into it, but my mom's older brothers were, or her older and her younger brother were. And so when they used to like watch me when I was really young, I remember like my mom's older brother just like showing me all the wrestling moves, and like it was so fun for me. And like they'd always make me watch it with them. And then like I ended up going to like a live event like with my mom. I remember like in 2009 or something. I have these like shirts. I'm like in a John Cena shirt. And then we moved here, and well, Justin and Alex are huge fans. So I'm like, by default, I'm gonna start watching it, and then I'm getting into it. So now I'm like a fan too, and we've been to so many live events.
yeah.
And it was definitely fun, like trying it out. I never like pictured me liking it, and I went, and I was like, this is some slight. And then I tried it, and it was really hard. Number one, and number two, I'm like, this is actually kind of fun. It's kind of cool. It's the idea of stunts, but
It's life stunts.
more pressure in a way because it's live. If you mess up, you mess up in front of a lot of people.
Mess up and there'll be a bit of pain somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think what's been tough for us though is the fact that we're never home. So it's like I feel like we've both been saying for a while, like we want to dive more into it, but we are never home for more than 5 days. And so that's, I think, the biggest battle we're now starting to kind of realize something needs to give. It's because we want to do all these things, and there are still opportunities for us to try stuff here, but it requires us being home. And it's like our current jobs take us away, right? We're going out for seminars, we're going out for tournaments. That's how we're making our living. So I think now our battle is, well, how do we find a happy medium so that we're still making a living and we're still, okay, but we're also getting to try something new. That's been the harder part because I know we both want to try it, but then there's trainings and it's like, I'm not here. We're not here. That happens all the time.
I think also like since we moved, like within 2 weeks that we moved, WWE Raw was coming to Atlanta, and I was like, we're going. And like we got to go, and it was really, really cool. And then like since then we've been to
A couple.
The most events that I've been to in my entire life, to be honest. And I was like, we're making it a step to go. And not only like, yes, I make it a point to go, not just to enjoy the show, but to like learn in a way and like see myself and see us there one day. You know, it's just like visualizing it, you know, just trying to make it happen. And the more, sorry, that's Blaze body slamming his T-bone. But
Just T-bones.
yeah, but every time we go and every time, every event, it's always like, oh, we see them like communicating, or we see like the camera guy, and we're like, watch this happen, or I quiz myself, and I'm like, what is that move called, or do I remember it, right? But yeah,
Sometimes that makes it it's like Dawson, you might kind of relate to this after doing action, but you kind of like look at stunts in movies, and you're like, that was the double.
Yeah.
That wasn't the actor. Like,
Oh yeah, yeah.
I look at it from a different lens.
Just a perspective, sure.
Yeah, but it's cool.
It's definitely got me more interested in like really appreciating more obviously of the breaks, like people getting, or you could tell when someone's like gets wired, right? When they fall from an explosion. Like I appreciate more of that stuff. Obviously, like fight scenes. Like, I mean, I always grew up loving, you know, watching stuff like that too.
Yeah.
So now it's more interesting,
Yeah.
of course. So, but yeah, I was, you guys went into full detail about wrestling, which by the way, like there it is again. Sorry. Once upon a time, I was a wrestling fan when I was like 13. So like that was back when like Roman Reigns was like on the come up, like he was getting hot. And
he was like
John
the
Cena,
guy.
obviously, yeah. And then like Undertaker was like starting to like come back, and then who else? Goldberg was starting to come back, and then like him and Brock Lesnar were like
We went to his
going against
retirement
each other.
match.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Stone Cold.
That's the guy,
Stone
man.
Cold.
Careful.
Yeah.
Say Stone Cold, she's gonna get a stunner. I will do it. I will do it on this live.
For legal reasons, that's a joke.
You guys realize sometimes I'll be like just about in the apartment. And I'll hear, because like the beginning of Stone Cold's song is like breaking glass.
Yeah.
And I hear the, and I'm like, oh no. And I hear his big old feet like stomping through the apartment. And next thing I know, I'm getting beat up. And I'm like, what is
Oh,
this?
it's gotta be ready.
For legal purposes, that's a joke. She's not
Right.
getting beat up. We're fine.
No. Yeah.
For funsies.
Yeah. Stunts. It's stunts.
Stunts. It's stunts.
Yeah. Going offside. I mean, there's too many good Stone Cold memes on the internet that just can't be mentioned on here, but too many to count. I'll mention one. There's just a picture. Just a picture of Stone Cold. And he posted this. You go on his Instagram, you can find it. It's him in his truck, I think, and he's just holding a chicken. I don't know. I just thought it was he just has a straight face, and I just thought it was the funniest thing. He had a chicken and a drink in his other hand, and he's just
my goodness.
Rudy, a solid chicken, you know,
Oh my
you know,
God.
a three-letter word, you know, a solid chicken.
Yeah.
Right.
I just thought that was the funniest thing. So, but anyways, so again, I know we've been talking about all this time and, you know, what you guys have been currently going through, but let's kind of just reminisce a little bit on the time we've had together as teammates, you know, like when Ben and I first got on the team, like what, going on like 4 years ago now, I think.
Yeah.
Over 4 years.
It's crazy how fast it's gone by. And you guys were super loving, welcoming to us, you know, as the rest of the team.
Mhm.
But, you know, it was really cool to, it's been amazing. It's been a wonderful ride, you know, getting to be all alongside, watching you guys, cheering you guys on, you guys cheering us on.
Mhm.
Like it's been incredible. So like, man, I don't know where to even talk about first. Like there's always, I mean, no, this is actually Steve Babcock at the wedding.
Yeah.
Steve.
Oh, talk
Yeah.
like
You know,
water. Shout
right?
out to Steve.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, which, you know, is always a great time to see him and Kevin. And, you know, he mentioned it, which, you know, we've had this conversation before, but now Steve mentioned it to me. It's like, you know, I've been around the team ever since it first started. When we're always hanging out, we never talk about some of, like, when we always go back and reminisce about the times we had to, it was always the fun times we had together, just being normal people. Like that was the
Yeah.
most like fondest memories they had. It's not winning or losing on the mat. Obviously that's great, but it's just, hey, you remember this after the tournament or before the tournament, or like just those little things. So like,
Yeah.
there's so many memories that I can't even think of one specific, like any funny moments that just have happened, you know.
Oh, there's so
during the
many funny
competition.
moments I can think about. But I will say this. I'm not gonna start with that. I do want to start with this, okay? On a serious note, but before I continue that part, by the way, whoever's watching, it's not bad, okay? It's not bad, all right? I said that like if it was very bad, like we all got arrested one night or something. Don't worry. No, we can't, because you know we gotta represent. This is a quick ad. Paul Mitchell, if you don't use it, you gotta use it. Okay.
Hey man, represent.
There you go. There you go.
Represent.
I will say this on a serious note about getting to know you guys, you know, and having you all come on the team and welcoming you all. I will say this. I'm very, very happy and excited, or I've been, you know, blessed to see you guys grow into the men that you guys are, holding it down in the weapons division. Because I will say it's something that, you know, the elephant in the room, if you will, years ago, was there was question marks. People were like, man, you know, are they going to really be able to hold it down, basically? And are like, oh man, they're not quote unquote Jackson, Tyler, Reed. And that's exactly correct. You guys aren't. You guys are your own. You are Ben Jones. You're Dawson Holt. This is sorry, Steve moment. This is a podcast right now with all diamond ring winners. You know, and you guys have grown into the competitors that you guys should be. You know, you guys are just proving yourselves right, not proving anybody wrong. And I've been very happy to have seen you all grow into the competitors and people and young men you guys have grown into. I love you guys. So without even paying attention to all the noise, you know, we silence the haters without saying anything. I'll say that.
I think what's really cool about the pickup that you guys were a part of. I mean, even with us, like we called it JLEX. It was Jake, Alex, and I really for quite some time. It felt like, and so it was nice just being us because we had known each other for so long. So it was great. We had our fun moments. Like it felt like a team still, even though it was only three of us. And then you guys came on, and like he's right. Like people were kind of like making comments, and I was excited because I'm like, you know, that group of people. Like I've been looking up to you guys since we've been competing around the same time frame. Like Ben, I tell you this a lot, and I feel like Dawson have never really mentioned it, but since I've watched you guys compete, I've always been inspired by you guys as performers, as people. Like I always watched you and thought, okay, let me get some ideas from them, or let me see how they're performing. I really like that they're doing this or they're doing that, and it's like I think some people don't realize that I do that, you know, a lot. You don't have to be at the top of your game or like winning first place all the time for me to be inspired. You know, I told you about Ben and Dawson about the comma videos you guys used to post like years ago. And you're like, like, you probably don't even know what I'm talking about. But I used to watch them over and over again. And I'm like, how did they do that? Like, I'm just literally watching over and over again. But you guys are amazing athletes. And I think what was so beautiful about your guys' pickup is a lot of you, I felt like, grew into this elite competitor where I feel like as before, or people expect, Paul Mitchell pickup athletes are already here. But you guys were here very much at the top of your game. But then you just completely exceeded all expectations. Like you did everything people said you wouldn't do. And I think that's really cool. And I think we're all still growing, and it inspires us to just stay on our game because it's like if our teammates are working, teammates are making all these level ups. Like we also got to do the same thing. So it's been really fun having you guys as teammates.
Yeah.
I look at these pictures that I have with you guys from Oceans when y'all first got on.
Man. Whoa.
Wow. You guys look different.
For all of us too,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Esteban pre-beard.
Pre-beard is crazy.
Yeah, pre-Wolverine.
Oh yeah. Oh my
Dawson
goodness.
pre-beard. Dawson like
pre-beard.
long hair pre-beard.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes I look back and I'm like, it doesn't feel like 4 years. And then I look at these photos and I'm like, yep, 4
It's
years.
4 years.
Feels like 8.
Yeah, right.
But I think
Yeah.
just listening to all that, like that can say a lot about like our connection, and that's just in the ring. Definitely beyond the ring, you guys, as just as she said, inspired us, and we've created a lot of fun memories. The wedding was one of them for sure, and it, best night of my life. Dawson, you and Esteban picking me up, swinging me like a swing. I had no idea what was going on. I was just moving a lot. But yeah, I think when we're able to, like, just like Dawson was saying, like, talk about all the moments beyond the mat, I think those are some of the best ones.
I think it's like also too like our side of the ring chats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, we're just full
Oh
of
yeah.
the funniest comments, talking about the randomest things. I
Yeah.
always wonder,
Oh
like,
yeah.
somebody's probably looking at us thinking, like, what are they talking about? And we're probably like completely just into outer space, talking
Yeah.
about something random.
Yeah.
Well, they must
see
be
that?
Just
Just be
but-
like,
Hey,
you see
Nope.
that kangaroo jump in the back of the hotel? Yeah. Just do the most random stuff, man. It's so fun.
yeah,
great.
dude.
And
I
I'm like,
mean,
yeah, we can lock in.
Oh yeah.
people are probably like you're saying, looking at us like, oh, they must be strategizing, like thinking
No,
about their new moves. Nope.
no. Honestly, in the best way, like in the best way possible, I take competition like the least amount of serious I've ever taken it. Like I think like when I was younger, I was like so focused on like competing and making sure I nail everything. And now I'm like, I think I've learned to enjoy it a bit more and not be so intimidated by the idea that I'm about to compete. So like us just goofing off on the side of the ring and then me going up right away and just running my form, like it's made it so much more enjoyable for me. Because I think for a bit it started to feel like a job, and it still does sometimes now. But it really felt like, all right, gotta lock in, like can't really talk to nobody. I gotta sit in the side of my ring, like stay focused. And now I'm just like, we're just having a good time. Like it's supposed to be fun.
I could totally relate to that. I think how I think of, I mean, obviously, yes, there's a time to be serious and there's a time to let loose and enjoy, yourself along with your teammates and having good
Yeah.
camaraderie. But I think now, like, that was definitely a very valuable lesson that I learned, or I think it just hit me now, because I mean, now we're getting older now, and
Yeah.
we're
I was about to say,
getting
don't
Yeah,
call
but-
me old earlier.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying I'm not saying anything, but it's like, I mean, 4 years go by fast.
Yeah.
So now it's like it definitely hit me of just like, man, you got to just enjoy the little things. It could be
Yeah.
like, for example, like what you kind of mentioned earlier, like just having a small interaction with someone, could be at the tournament, a private lesson, a seminar. And if you can make someone's day and just plant a seed of inspiration to keep the sport alive, that's almost, if not more valuable than just winning an overall, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, well, we already mentioned before, like Coach Steve said, it's like when we think back, like it's very rare that I'm thinking back to a win. It's like it's so even like Diamonds was a big win for me, right? But the win is not what made it special. It was the moment with the guys on stage, and then even you can actually see, and like this just goes to show across the board, like this team that we have is so special, and the bond we have is so special. So after we bow it out, like the live stream is still going, and then like a couple people come up to me and get a hug, and then Alex just like rushes me. He's like, he just comes in, and I'm like, he like, I think you guys had just maybe finished up like fighting or something. You're like still in your fighting uniform, and
We just finished teams.
yeah, and running up on stage, just it's all love. Like those are the things that I remember. And it's like, yeah, there was a win involved with that, but the win isn't what made it special. It's like the people I was able to share the moment with, and like all of that stuff. And like we were talking about, like we have to be professionals, right? We're sponsored, and like this is our life. It's like it's our job, it's our careers, it's our hobby, all wrapped into one. But at the same time, like if we can't enjoy the process, it's like, man, we're gonna look back and just be regretful on like not soaking it in.
Yeah.
And that's something that Dawson and I have talked about a lot recently, rooming together at all these tournaments. It's like we gotta like enjoy this, because first of all, like he said, not that it's like the end of everything, but we are on the older side of like the longevity, the age that people stick in the sport is
Yeah.
kind of wild when you really think about it.
I'm the oldest one right here.
Right? Yeah. And so like we're on that older side of it.
Yeah.
And it's like we need to soak this in while we still
Yeah.
have it, because you never know. I mean, shoot, we don't know if we're gonna wake up tomorrow. So it's like
Yeah.
living in the moment, soaking it all in, and just enjoying the people around us, because like we've already talked about, that's what we remember the most anyways.
Yeah.
So when we look back on it, we want to look back on it very fondly and very grateful for the memories, the connections, the moments that we had with each other. And I'm so glad that like I feel like we're nailing that right now. Like the connection is so tight.
I think so.
It's awesome.
You know, life is moving fast for all of us too. Like I feel like we've all had conversations of like what I think we're all in this transition period. You know, I've had conversations with Dawson, I've had conversations with you, like Alex and I've had these conversations where it's like we're in that almost at what's next, but we're like just kind of in this gray area where we're still competing, but we're also kind of looking towards the future. What does life after competition look like? Because this has been all we've known since we were 6, 7. Like, so.
Sorry.
You could have said 4 or 5.
Yeah.
No, but it's like I think it's like almost like a hard pill to swallow for us, because this is everything we've done. Our lives have revolved around this. It's even I think Dawson, you can relate, and Alex can too. Like while we've been in college, it was never about getting the college experience or like kind of diving into that. We've still been focused on martial arts.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, there's like some things where I'm like, man, I really should have maybe done this like in school or joined this club or had the time to do this. So it's always like give and take. But I think it's making me realize that while I think I'm kind of approaching somewhat of that end point, to just really take advantage of every moment that we have. My mom's been reminding me of that recently, because I call her stressed. I'm like, Mom, I didn't have time to train today. I had to do this, 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 and this. And then I'm like, and then I did lessons, and then I had to do this. And I'm just so tired. I'm like, I really just don't have it. And I get frustrated because I don't want to give anything less than my best. And she goes, Haley, this isn't going to last forever. You know that. Make the most out of every moment you have. And I think that's been helping out a lot recently.
Well, this is a big factor of it too, right? Like, this is a huge part of it that like, bro, it's different, bro. You know what I mean? Like, and then so there's one example of it. We appreciate all these comments coming in too, right? Like us, getting to grow up together in a way, is crazy. Like, some of us more than others. Like we've been in this for so long, but like, it's these type of things that really last. Like a trophy could sit there, collect dust, and eventually you're probably going to recycle it, right?
Yeah.
So, but like if we inspired a kid to like be better in any way in their life, like that's going to last way more than like one of our trophies or anything like that.
Yeah.
I think to relate that in like a fighting aspect too, it helps me like go out there and be more of myself, if that makes sense. Like, don't get me wrong, training, like we have fun in training. We have hard training sometimes where I'm like dying because Coach Damon is no joke. Ross gives me drills that are no joke. Justin's on my mind too. Like, yeah, I know I can do this and whatever it is. But it's like when I'm at tournaments, like you were saying, like sometimes these kids will come up to me, I'm about to fight. And instead of they're like, hey, Alex, or they just say, hey, and instead of like shooing them away because I'm about to fight, and I'll go like, fist bump, what's up? And I give them fist bump. And then they're like, sometimes they turn around and like go to their parents like, somebody. Oh my gosh, or like, can I get a quick picture? I'm like, yeah, sure. Like in a way, like, yes, we're locked in, but I'm at my best when I'm loose, when I'm confident, and the nerves are out. Obviously, and I think we can all relate to that when we handle the nerves the best that we can. And in a way that helps me. When I get loose, I crack a little joke with Cam or Enrique or Sab. Bro, Sab, stop.
It's not funny. Wait,
Sab, if you're watching, Sab, come on, man, come on, Sab. First off, this was part of my groomsman's gift.
You gotta like get it up.
Got to see it. So there's a dumbbell. Yep, Team Groom. There's a dumbbell in there. There you go. Ben's got his drumsticks and his Bible. Sab's got his dumbbell and his pickleball and his glasses. We love Sab. Sab, how dare you? But anyways, no, like just Team Group, just cracking jokes with the teammates before, and then like seeing the transition. Like it happened at Competes, even though it was just us, really. when our first team went out there, we were cracking jokes before, and as soon as we're all going to line up, like the tone changed, and we're like, all right, let's ready to rock.
The
Are we ready to rock? Or are we ready to
lock
roll?
We're
in.
ready to rock and
Sorry,
roll.
I was about to laugh. I couldn't take Ben serious. It's his glasses. He's just.
Oh, I forgot I had him on,
No,
honestly.
you're good. You're good. Yeah, man, but it does help. It's great. Always gonna have a good time.
Yeah, of course, man. And I love that, what you're saying too. Like, we're still people too, and
Yes.
like we talked about, you can be yourself and want to be loose because that's when we're most comfortable anyway, because that's who you are. And so, like, but at the same time, you're saying, like Coach Damon's putting you through some work, right? And obviously, to get to this point, we've had to work hard and we've had to train, not just practice here and there. We've got to train. And so that kind of like leads us into the next step, which I feel like both of you do so well, is the cross training aspect. You're not just running a section here and there. You're not just working on tricks and choreography and upgrades, but we're in the gym. I mean, Alex, you're a coach for Orange Theory. So like talk about,
Come on now.
give it to us one time.
In 3,
Come on,
2,
come on.
1, increase.
There it is.
Bang.
Now I'm fired up.
He said,
Let's
bang.
go work out right now. Okay. But you guys like do this so well. Talk about how important this is. And if someone's not doing it, maybe how did they just kind of tap into it, even small, just to get started, and then let that just snowball until they're as like huge as Haley,
Listen, I wore a long sleeve just so I didn't embarrass any of you boys. Trust. Nah,
Believe it. I believe it.
For me,
Funny.
I actually have always been interested. When I was younger, my mom was always at the gym, always, and I actually did like daycare at the gym because she would take me with her. And she would take me to like these parks, and she would rollerblade, and I would run, and like it was always just kind of a part of even like before I started martial arts, just like my life because she did it so much. So there was that, and then in karate, like it was fine for a while, but also like at our dojo, we had like our conditioning class once a week, and then sometimes we do Saturday trainings. And like one of our parents, you guys may have met him, my friend Papa Roof. He was at the wedding. He was hanging out with us, but he was one of my like teammates' dads, and he would set up these entire trainings for us and like bring like slam balls and like light weights at the time, and like would even have like resistance bands and like parachutes to kind of have us do sprints, like uphill sprints. So it was just always a part of my training. Once I got to high school and I got a little bit bigger, I actually went to like I did weight training as an elective in school. So I kind of felt like I learned like mechanics there. And then really what got like a jump start on it was COVID. Because I was home all the time and I was completely bored. So like I ordered all this like exercise equipment off the market, off like Facebook Marketplace. Got like a barbell and like all these dumbbells and whatnot, and I started kind of learning, and then it really took off from there. So that's why I felt like I was completely different coming out of the COVID era into like battle. I think was our first 2021 event, and I just felt like a new competitor. But it's because I started implementing so much weight training and applying metrics and all of that. And I think what helped me understand that concept and why it was so important is we always talk about yes technical aspects of how we can be better, but to a certain point your technique can only be so much better until it's right. And then after that, well, what do you do different? What elevates your game? It was always okay, I want to jump higher, I want to spin faster with tricking, I want to be stronger, I want to be faster. All that doesn't happen by just doing karate over and over again. All of that happens as like physiological changes. It's like changes to our body. How do we get stronger? We increase our muscles. Like, how do we get faster? We work on our fast twitch muscles, our type 2 fibers. Like, all these little things happen in the weight room. So I think starting in college then and learning about all that, because I majored in applied physiology and kinesiology, that's just exercise science. So it taught me all about how my body works, what type of exercises work for what adaptations and everything. It just became a part of my routine. And now, honestly, it's like my favorite part of training. It's like my me time, I call it. I feel like I'm always with somebody, and then that's when I put in my headphones and I'm just going. And he gets mad at me sometimes because he can spend like 3 hours at the karate school. I can spend like 3 hours in the gym. That's just I take my time. Like I said, it's my me time. I kind of just zone out and do my thing, but it's helped in so many ways for our sport. And it's also it's helped me learn what not to do too. Right. I think a lot of martial arts competitors will go into the gym and train like a bodybuilder. And it's like, hold on, you're not getting better because you're not training
Yeah.
properly. So it's helped me learn, how do I train as an athlete rather than like aesthetics.
Yeah.
The aesthetics do come. I care about that too. But, you know, learning how to properly train for different things I'm trying to do always helps. And I was talking to one of our friends the other day, and she was like, "Yeah, I'm trying to get into the gym. I just don't know what I'm doing." And I was like, "Shoot me a message." I'm like, "I got you. Just shoot me a message, and I'll kind of help out." But I think the most important thing is training for functionality. So for somebody who might be wanting to get into it as a martial artist, as an athlete, but not really know where to kind of go, social media has been a great tool and a tool that's not so great too, right? You got all these influencers who are posting these
Yes.
physiques and they're posting these workout routines, and I'm like, this is junk. Like this, there's no way. But on the flip side, you've got like strength and conditioning coaches and trainers who are posting great content for athletes, how to build strong hips, how to build, your internal and external rotators, like all things that for me just make sense to make me a better martial artist. Like there is plenty of content on that, how to train like an athlete. So I think that's been a great help, and I definitely recommend that to all my students. I'm like, hey, look this up. We gotta work on that hip mobility. Go on Instagram and look up hip mobility exercises. There's so many. It
Yeah.
just gotta guide my students for that. But it's
Nice.
been great. I love it. I love it so much. I know you do too. I'll stop talking so you can go.
I mean, you can keep going. That's
No, no,
great.
it's
It's
good,
great.
it's good.
It's great information for the
Yeah.
podcast.
That's right.
No, yeah. So cross training, we both have kind of grown up doing it. I'll give a huge, obviously, shout out to my mom because she had back then the routines were kind of crazy in the karate school. It was always like there's a drill that called offense defense. She's done it with my mom, and my mom will do it, and it's just the way she does it. Even when I do it, like I know, like she's my instructor, so she definitely knows how to be sensei and how to be mom. But when she's an instructor, she knows how to push everybody, and even me. She'll look at me and it's like you're constantly moving, you're constantly going up, constantly going down, because that creates a lot of energy, just going from up, going down into a push-up, then coming back up. Or she'll have us do burpees and doing side kick drills and doing a wall sit and doing like reverse punch drills, like to the point to where you're getting your legs really tired, your body really tired, your arms really tired, so that when you go to a tournament, it's you're ready. It's a 2-minute match. You've been through worse. And I also grew up with a personal trainer of my own who shout out to him, Justin Hunter. He gave me a lot. Like I know as a martial artist, I'm not flexible, which I know Justin Ortiz, he's mad at me, but I've gotten better. But before I couldn't like touch my toes. I've just always been very tight. And Justin Hunter, my personal trainer, I met through a family friend. I was like 10 years old, and he got me like my flexibility, my mobility, a lot of like these. Sometimes you look at somebody in the gym and they're doing something weird, but it looks like it has a purpose to it, and it's like, I wonder what that's doing. And like I would do a lot of stuff like that, like wall walks. Like I'd walk all the way down, handstand push-ups. I do stuff on a box with a TRX, which is crazy stability stuff. And to be honest, like I hadn't really had any major injuries,
Yeah.
and that really helped me
Part two.
a lot. The weight training, the cross training, the PT, it does help you prevent a lot of injuries because we do a lot of cuts in our forms, like not striking wise, but our stances, our tricking to go chop punch and like direction changes. And
Yeah.
in point fighting too, you fake, you cut an angle, you have to cut back forward. And a lot of the times people's ankles roll, people's knees go out, their Achilles, whatever. And when you're able to train with like weight, when you're able to put that resistance and you're able to have that impact training and direction training, your body's used to it. It's nothing new, as opposed to like if you don't and you do a movement your body's not used to, it's like, hey, wait, hold on, snap,
Yeah.
but yeah, huge shout out to Justin since 10 years old, gave me a lot of stuff. And then being involved with Orange Theory since I was 15, it's a lot of those workouts are great. You go on the rower, then you're running on the treadmill, then you're on the weight floor or whatever it is. It's just pushing our bodies to extremes and then being able to use that in our sport.
I think it also builds a healthy lifestyle after.
Absolutely.
Like
Yes.
I see like a trend on like Instagram Reels just about like, XD1 athlete turn bodybuilder, or like, aesthetics, like gym rat. But it really does help us because obviously we're not going to do this sport forever. So then what happens? And then sometimes people don't know what to do after because it's like karate's what kept me
Right.
fit. Great. Well, you still gotta stay healthy after. And so I know for sure, like it's just a great segue into a healthy lifestyle as an adult and just throughout life.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah.
I do have like this 1-2 cents type of thing with cross training. I think for forms competitors that just don't understand it, and I preach this so much because I've realized that this is a problem. So like as a forms competitor, sometimes we're tired like at the end of our form because our muscles are fatigued, and sometimes we're tired because we can't breathe. And everybody's always like, "Oh, to train endurance, run on the treadmill." And sometimes that's not the problem. The problem is not cardiovascular like endurance. So it's like people are running, people are
Stopping a
on the
gym.
bike, like people are doing all these like cardiovascular style exercises on the elliptical, on the arc train or whatever, and that's not the problem. The problem 99% of the time is muscular fatigue, which
Mm.
means muscular endurance is what you got to train. There's a difference, my friends. Cardio and muscular endurance are two different things. I think as forms competitors, that muscular endurance part is so much more important. You know, doing those high reps of push-ups, of squats, kind of training our bodies in that way rather than just going
Yeah.
on a 5 mile run. Like I've had people who do that every day, and they're like, why am I still tired at the end of the form?"
Mm.
Because it's not a heart problem; it's a muscle problem.
Same thing could apply for the fighters too.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, sure.
especially for example, like you look at Enrique, he's got a great leg and he does it every match for 2 minutes, 3 minutes if he has to. So I'm sure he's got. There's one drill he did show me, and I was like, yeah, that's why your leg why your leg is the way it is, you know.
Yeah.
But it's doing those high reps, you know. And then I know Coach
Mhm.
Damon is when I've trained with him, he's put me through all that stuff too. Ross, high reps, long time periods of high reps.
Mhm.
So yeah, some gems
Super
for the
important.
podcast for sure. But yeah, cross training is important. Do it. Help you with the sport. Help you with your life, and stay healthy.
Period.
Such valuable advice. Whoever's listening to this needs to write all this down. So, not only do you guys need to be training this type of stuff, the muscular endurance, but this is a perfect segue into the next thing that we're talking about, and that's what you're feeding your body. So, the tournament essentials. What do you guys have? Gear, snacks, music, could be
Marshmallows.
We're eating
Marshmallow.
right now.
No, that's not a tournament essential, but I just thought it was funny, like you said.
We're snacking on marshmallows
Yeah.
while we're doing this.
Because I mean, you guys know what I bring, and Ben now brings, and it's gummy bears
That's the one.
because it has
That's ours too.
glycogen
We get, like,
in
the,
it.
The lifesavers gummies are
Yeah.
pretty tight. Or she gets her trolleys.
Trolleys. Sour
Yep.
creams.
Yep.
I made a joke about this to I think one of the kids that's on Team All Out, and then from Vito's kids, they all had gummy bears, and they were sitting by my ringside Saturday. And I got a second. I lost to Mason. Great fight. You know, it was his weekend. Great fight. And I went up to Fabian, and it was Mauricio that was there, and they were eating gummies, and they're like, "You want one?" And I was like, "I'm already done fighting, man." I was like, if I would have had it before, I would have probably won. Like it's my secret. I know it's just a joke, but gummies are the essentials. For some reason, I feel like grapes or apples.
Green grapes.
Grapes or apples for sure.
Apples, bananas.
I like my protein cookies. I like my protein cookies. Those are great. And I gotta have a lot of water for sure. A lot of water.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of another thing.
I think you're like a pasta guy. You're like a carb load kind of guy
Are we talking snacks or talking food?
in general.
Oh, in general.
Both. All of it.
No, yeah, for sure.
Essentials.
Pasta, but here's the thing though. Now that obviously like we've had a huge pickup or a couple pickups for JPM, we all have to split up for our weights, right? And we all are very close in weight. Okay. So I have to make sure like I cut weight and I make it and give you a back fist. But
Sorry.
anyways, so I think pasta would have to be like, you know, right after I weigh in. If they're open on Thursdays, I'm not because sometimes I wait until Fridays. But yeah, usually pastas.
Chipotle.
Oh, it's not pasta, Chipotle.
Yeah. I think I used to be like pasta kind of person when I was like a
Yeah.
kid,
Mhm.
but now I'm like I try to stay away from like heavy dairy. Or like honestly, some people like he can do orange juice in the mornings. I can't.
Mhm.
It like
Yeah.
gives me really bad heartburn. But always like something light for me now. I just don't like feeling heavy at all.
Yeah.
But I'll do like the trolleys. I'll do Chipotle or I'll do like a salad, or some sort of like high protein bowl, and like a bagel in the morning. I think that, and then protein shake right after I compete because normally at that point I hadn't eaten for like hours and
Yeah.
didn't realize it. And Gator lights.
Mhm.
I don't know why. they're like for me the best electrolyte drink I can have. Like I don't, the Gatorade's okay. I've done the Pedialyte. I've done like Liquid IV and stuff, but Gatorlyte is like my go-to.
Gatorade Zero, the cool blue. Oh, I gotta have that after. Even if it's not zero, I'll take it. I'll take it. After competing after night show, I have to have either a Kit Kat or I have to have my Dr. Pepper.
All
I
right.
have to. I have to. All right. That's
Barbecue water right there.
I hadn't heard that one before.
Think about it. It makes sense, right? It just kind of makes sense.
No.
I don't know about that one.
All right, so anyway, we're talking about tournament essentials, right? You got the snacks, we got the food. What about like any specific gear? Are we listening to any specific music? What kind of fuels like a tournament weekend for you guys outside of like nutrition?
More recently, like I know this was I was hello English before I competed. I competes night show. I was bumping to some. I think Brandon Lake.
Brandon
Hey.
Lake gets me going, bro. Sevens.
Um,
Sevens is my song.
yeah, so I've been listening to a lot of that. That or honestly, more recently, I've been doing like very calm instrumentals
Wow.
because I feel
Mhm.
like I'm already like anxious to kind of go and nervous and like my heart's going pretty fast. Like I get this like anxious energy. Like my legs shake. It's just kind of how I am. So listening to more like just chill music. I listen to like Rufus Du Sol, Hippie Sabotage, like just kind of music that doesn't really have any substance to it other than cool beats, and that normally like calms me down a little bit.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, that and then equipment wise, I try to take a resistance band when I can remember it because it definitely helps with like just the shoulder issues I've had. Just kind of warming it up. It's definitely been very helpful. That and socks. Some of these tournaments.
Socks are a must. Like when I'm
That's
stretching,
true, yeah.
socks do
Goodness.
help.
For
Socks
sure.
help. Your resistance bands, when you have them, I will steal them. If I can pack it, my massage gun is always great.
Yep.
Can help with any tightness that we've had before or after. This is one of my favorites. I like to listen to. Come on,
Yeah.
come on now. So I'll listen to that, but more recently, honestly, like I'll listen to that before. But then, like if I see a couple divisions are like right before mine, I won't listen to music.
Yeah.
I like stopped. I don't know what happened. I just like stopped listening. You know what it was? There was one time I didn't listen to music, and I was like, oh gosh, like I don't know if I didn't have my beats or just whatever. I didn't listen to music, and I fought really well, and I won in the juniors. And then I was like,
Never
I
listening
just-
to music ever again.
no, not ever again. But I think the fact that I was just like so locked in. I think I listened to music before, but I just didn't. And I'm just so locked in. I'm focused on what I got to do or visualizing what I have to do. It's kind of what happens now. I'll listen a little bit before, maybe like on the way down, and then when I see the going, I'm like, all right, let's lock in. As far as like additional gear, like I'm very superstitious, like equipment wise. So I have to have like, I can't do dark gear. I can't, not anymore. I had this superstition of like, and it happens. I sport so fast. If I have my black gear and she has a black uniform, and I throw a body punch so fast, it's like, oh, they might not
Gets
see
missed.
it.
Yeah.
Like it gets missed. And even though like some people might say, oh, well, you just got to be that good. I'm like, nah. I don't know. I don't.
Blends in. It does. Like I
does.
might
It makes sense.
Or if they kick and it's like red boot to
Yeah.
red glove, and it's like you do this in a block, it's like no 2 points.
I mean, you can just
So-
see like bright colored gear so much.
Exactly.
easier.
Yeah.
So I like my white gear. White's always nice.
Fight.
What? First off, all right. You know what? I'm gonna walk out of this podcast, and you're gonna hear the glass shattered by Stone Cold, and we're gonna get a stunner on this podcast. I'll give you a marshmallow while you do it, so the marshmallows come out while I give you a stunner.
Like Triple H.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I like my white gloves though. White gloves, or more recently, my red too.
What kind of white gloves?
Oh, come on now, Century Martial Arts.
It's gotta be.
It's gotta
gotta
be the Valor white gloves are sick. Or we, sorry, that they gave me Disney flashbacks to Claire with her.
Oh my God.
Sorry, just anyways. P2, throwing it back to old school, the P2, like the foam dip. That's always nice.
Nice.
Probably bring those back. Yeah, she got
Come
the
on.
foam dip.
There
Come on.
it is.
Gems.
Classic.
Yeah.
All right. I like it. So we talked about a little bit some of the different type of music you guys are listening to. So getting some worship music rocking, huh?
Yes,
I
sir.
like it. You know I like it. You know I'm about it.
You rock with it.
You know I rocks with it. But that leads us into the next thing, which is how does faith play a role in what we do? And I would love for this to be like more of an open conversation for all of us, because I know it's important to all four of us. My man, I see you.
Saw it.
I see you.
Got it. There we go.
You already know. So, shoot, I mean, we've talked about it quite a bit. Like, this has been I think, honestly, this is one of the factors that has brought us so close together, is because it's like the most important thing within our lives, and we all share it, as well as all of the other parts of our lives that we share. And then this, I feel like, just really deepens it. Like, me and Dawson have had conversations in the past, like, just, what are we doing with our lives? And we've talked about today already, like, and if we can, first of all, like, lead others to salvation, like, there's nothing more important than that. There's no win that's more important. Even, like, if we can inspire a kid, like, that's more important than the wins, right? But if we can lead someone else to, like, salvation for eternity, there is nothing more important than that. And so this has been something that's been, like, heavy on me recently. And once again, kind of like we talked about earlier, not because I feel like I'm near the end of my career or anything like that, but, like, it's not so serious that I should, like, lose who I am within my faith for a win or winning a certain tournament or whatever it may be, right? And so I feel like this has been something that has really just, like, taken over my life a little bit more recently. And we have a nice community. We've got, like, a group chat within Paul Mitchell, and I'm trying to do a lot more with just getting some outreach and getting some information out there so people are aware. But yeah, talk about, from you guys' experience, how does this play a role to you personally? Well, whether it's within the sport or just, like, within daily life, which daily life is kind of captured in the sport. So yeah.
I think kind of like what you were just saying about, what are we doing with our lives? I feel that for such a long time, it's like my future has been very clear path. I knew exactly what I was going to do. I knew what I needed to do to get to where I want to go, until I got to college and I graduated college. And then I'm like, okay, what are we doing now? And it's this conversation where I'm like, a lot of the bigger things that I've just dreamed of doing in my life, I've done. And also at the same time, I had this fear where I'm like, I hope I didn't reach the pinnacle of my life already. Like, but the opportunities that we have gotten up to this point, it's insane. Like, for us, it's so normal, and we speak about it like it's nothing. But you talk to somebody who's not in the sport, who's not on Team Paul Mitchell, who doesn't get to go and travel to these, tournaments, blessed by an amazing sponsor. Like, this is not normal. Like, what we're doing is just insane. It's such a blessing. And so I had this moment where I'm like, what if it doesn't get, not that it doesn't get better, but what if I don't do something bigger? And I got to a point where I'm like, I have no clue what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I feel like my mind is in 5 places right now, and I don't know what direction to dive into. And I felt that way a lot, I think, moving to Atlanta. And that was a big leap of faith, I think, for the both of us. Because I know when we were contemplating moving, we were like, but what if it doesn't work? And honestly, what we came for isn't what's providing for us right now. By the grace of God, he's kind of opened our eyes to see another avenue in what's working for us currently. But I remember just praying about it so much, because I'm like, I don't know what the right move is right now. And I think that's really what's drawn me close, because I don't like not being in control, but I've learned that it's better that I'm not in control. It's better that God is in control of my life. And I think I've just kind of really leaned into that recently, because I have no clue what I'm doing. But the more I pray about it, and the more that I ask for discernment and direction and guidance, I feel like I'm taking those steps in the direction I'm supposed to. One thing that I've been saying a lot recently, just in prayers, is like, Lord, help me yield my will to yours. I'm like, I don't want to do what Haley wants to do. I want to do what God wants me to do, and how I can be a vessel. And I think with that, I've been definitely pretty hard on myself, because we are in positions of influence, and sometimes I don't know, sometimes I don't realize that. I don't realize how much influence I have, and how we all have that influence. It feels like, oh, we're not we're not famous. We're not, all these followers on Instagram. We're not walking down these red carpets, but in our circle, in our world, we are those people. We are those people that we looked up to when we were younger. So now it's like I have these moments where maybe I do something and I'm like, I don't know that that was so aligning with what I should be doing. And it keeps me in check. It's a good thing, it's a good kind of like conviction where it's pushing me to be that person and that, athlete that I feel like God wants me to be. I mean, it's such a beautiful thing. I'll say one more thing because I want to allow everybody to speak. But I had, for those of you guys who don't know, I have a really good friend, Claire. She's one of my bridesmaids and she hung out with us a lot during the wedding. And she and I were walking in Target, I think after a conversation that, with you, Ben, I think, or something like something recent.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Hey, so it seems like a lot of like you guys in sport karate are like Christians." She's like, "How is that? Like, why is that?" And I was like, "Honestly, I think we all realized we believe the same thing without, before I feel like we didn't really talk about it. It wasn't
Yeah.
really a topic of conversation. Like, we had our beliefs, we went to church, we kind of knew that, but we never opened that conversation bigger. And
True.
I'm like, now that we have, I feel like we're all doing this
Yeah.
in hopes of just bringing in more people to our group, right? To just this amazing community. And she goes, I'm not religious much, but she's like, that's really inspiring to hear that you guys are kind of doing that and trying to bring people in. And I'm like, I didn't really see it that way, but it was nice to kind of have the outside perspective where she's like, yeah, I feel like a lot of you guys talk about your faith. Like that's cool. She's like, why is that important? And I'm like, well, let me tell you. And we had a conversation.
Yeah.
But I think none of us would be where we are without our faith, without God. And I feel that now more recently, it's just been more prevalent in our lives as we're kind of just figuring out where we're going next and
Yeah.
how we can continue to honor God even when we finish competing.
Yeah. 100%. I'll say a quick thing before if Dawson or Alex want to chime in too, but I saw like a Tim Tebow clip from an interview and somebody asked him like, do you believe that football was your calling? And he's like, no, not really. He's like, I believe that it gave me a platform to point people to more important things.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, that's perfect. Like, that's exactly what I've been like feeling. Cause I'm like, yeah, it's like, I don't know that, I was called to be a sponsored martial arts competitor, but I know some people that, have asked me questions about faith and things like that. And I've been able to point them in what I believe is the right direction. And I see different, things in their life that are making me believe that they're on the right path. And like, if that, maybe being a sponsored competitor got me to meet that person. And now that person has this new thing that's going to like, change their life.
Right.
And so if that's the reason that I've become a sponsored athlete, then awesome. Use that for the glory of the Lord, really, and for his kingdom, because anything that happens on this earth in eternal value, it doesn't matter.
Yep.
So it's like, unless we can bring more people with us, right?
Right.
I think also the biggest thing that, we've heard about in church and we've talked about is, we're not taking anything with us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Everything's staying here and, except our faith. I really always call her my greatest blessing. She really helped me like in my walk in my own faith and brought me closer to God. And I know that was one of the, not going to say the main reason, but it was a really big factor in, why I wanted her to be my wife, right? My wife. But I definitely know, and we all believe that God called us to the certain positions we were in for a reason. And in those tough times, like we really got to trust in our faith. There's moments, just like she said, like when I moved here, I was unsure about what was going to happen. How was my training going to be like, first off, right? Because went from having my mom's school every day to like, all right, what's going to happen, right? But yeah, just really relying on our faith during times of uncertainty and during times of certainty, because I think it's very important that we don't just thank God during the bad times or the tougher times. Like we should always turn to him each and every day. When we wake up, thank you, God. Thank you for waking me up. Thank you for blessing me with a roof over my head, for allowing me to have my wife next to me, my family. So I think it's really, really important, and I think it's awesome. And especially like, huge shout out to you, Ben. Thank you for taking that initiative on the team, the JPM for Jesus chat. That's super, super cool. And like even me, like even having this, like just walking around with it, like I think of it, and not only do I think about, okay, like my own walk, but I think about you. And I think about like, yeah, Ben gave me this and as a reminder, so I think that's pretty awesome. We all have our own unique ways of connecting with everybody.
Yeah, I gotta give Haley credit on that too, because she brought it up. She was like, "Yo, we should do like a team Bible study," and I was like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, let's just do it then."
one.
Like yes.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a great.
It's been nice, I think, having that, because I think we talked about this on, which we gotta do it again, but I think one of the last studies that we've done together, that we, everybody was actually available for, we spoke about the idea of how, because of the lifestyles we live, it's almost, for me, it's been really hard to try to connect with people at church. And something I've been praying for a lot is just like fellowship with people that I can just talk, about God with. And I tried to join a small group at my church, but because I was gonna miss a few, they were like, and I get it. They're like, you kind of have to be a little consistent so that you can keep up. Like it's that kind of small group. I'm like, dang, like I'm trying, but it's because I'm out so much that I can't be a part of this. And so it's been nice just kind of having that community. Like I reached out to you the other day about something. I asked you for just some, you know, brother in Christ advice. Like, did you hear that, right?
That was bars. That was
That
bars.
bars.
That's
Bars. No, but I think even with us too, that's one thing I've learned is that when we are both Christ centered, we are in a really good place. And every relationship has their ups and downs, so I feel like I can really say this. Like when I know both of us are a little bit consumed with what the world is bringing us at the moment, that's when I feel like we've kind of gotten to these moments where we're like, hold on, something's off. We need to kind of talk about it, and it's always we gotta make sure we're in our word, and that stays priority, no matter how busy our lives get. Because if we want us to work, we have to be both pointing towards God, right? Without him, it doesn't work, and I firmly believe that, and that's why I'm so thankful for him, and obviously for just my walk with God, because I feel like I would be a very different person if I hadn't really dived in when I did. I think we can all speak on this too, like pressure being on the team, pressure being in the position that we're in. For me, this pressure has made me so nervous and almost questioning like the athlete that I am. And I had this conversation with you. I also had this conversation with one of our old coaches, Lauren. And I was like, she's like, why are you so nervous? She's like, you have this anxious energy to you before you compete. And I just feel like the pressure's on high now that I'm in this position. It's a blessing, but it almost makes me question the athlete that I am. I don't know why, it just does. And so what's helped me through that is just prayers before competition. Like, God, I'm in this position for a reason. I'm about to perform in this tournament at this time for a reason. Help me to be the best athlete I can be. Win, lose, or draw, as long as it's for your glory, then I'm happy. And I've had those moments. I had that moment, honestly, in the Warrior Cup. That's the one event I've not won, no matter how hard I've tried. And it's, some people are like, no, how many do you have? And I'm like, nah, no way. Somebody came up to me and I went, and right before I competed, I'm like, I just want to nail it. I'm like, Lord, just help me do what I do. Help me put on a good show. If I win, great. And if I don't, that's also okay. Like, that's all right. It's really not that big of a deal. And that's kind of tying into what I was saying about just not taking things so seriously anymore. It's okay. That's all.
Love it. Dawson, would you like to add?
Well, it's been great hearing all of you guys, say something about this subject, but ultimately iron sharpens iron, with we've all, helped each other out and, all and communicated and each other about our faiths and, getting an opportunity to talk about it with other people. So if anyone is still on this live stream right now, and if you have any questions or if you even have any idea what we're talking about, feel free to contact us online through social media. Feel free. I mean, we're just people. And if you have any questions in regards to any of this stuff, all the four of us would be more than happy to let you know what we're talking about and all of this. So, and yeah, that's really all I have to say on that. And yeah, that's really cool to hear, hear you talk about praying before Warrior Cup. That's definitely I mean, I've done it, you
Yeah.
know, for a form,
Mhm.
you know, or times leading up to the tournament. You know, we've prayed with each other, you
Mhm.
know. So yeah, it's good. So, and I'll leave you guys with this one last question: is what do you guys want to be remembered for in the sport?
Hmm. I
I know
think
that's a big one.
that's a big one. You know, I think I would like to be remembered. I obviously don't want to be remembered by the wins because that's always like, well, there's so many people that win all the time, you know. But I think for me, in a way of, or the segue of talking about our faith, you know, I definitely want to be, which I know I haven't been the best at it, but I definitely want to be remembered as a man of my faith, you know, man of my faith. And like honestly, we could all probably attest to this when like we see Enrique fight
Mhm.
after a win, he's always giving all the glory to God, right? And I want to make sure like it inspires me to do that. Like I want to do that every time I win. Like it's Ben, I told you after like for diamonds, I was like, you're gonna give all the glory to God, and that's exactly what you did when you won. But yeah, I definitely want to be remembered of as a man of my faith, but also if I could say anything besides that, it would be that anytime somebody saw me compete, it was an experience for them that I was able to, you know, inspire them or motivate them, or just because they saw me compete or because they saw me maybe lose Friday but then see me win Saturday. Like I want it to be a whole experience and inspiration to somebody that it doesn't matter, you know, where you come from, what your background is, what your situation is. Like you have a dream, and just like we all do, have bigger dreams, bigger mountains to climb. Like you have a dream, you can get there. You know, just keep God first and keep working hard. Um, yeah, I told her like after sport karate, right after that's over, like I told her like I need to perform. I want to inspire people, not like, yes, I do love being the center of attention, but it's like I do want to use that, like you were saying, like Tim Tebow, use it as a platform,
Yeah.
you know, to inspire people and, you know, lead people to God. So I'll leave it at that.
For me, a little more like sport driven. Like I want to be remembered as like basically showing that women are, this is not a male lit like dominated sport. Um like
Sorry, that was good. That was good.
I didn't ruin the moment. I felt like I'm just, getting into this.
That was good. I was supporting you. It's good.
We're
Sorry.
just gonna pretend that
Go
that couldn't
ahead.
happen. I'm trying to say.
Run it back.
Run it back. Run it back.
No, just I think what helped me kind of have this mindset is competing with guys when I was younger before they did the split. Um, and Justin was always like, Haley, you got to be the best martial artist. Period. He's like, I don't want you to ever be the best female martial artist. He's like, you need to push to be the best martial artist. Period. And that's kind of always driven me, and that's something I instill in my students. Where I'm like, the goal is not to just win your division, win runouts, win grands. I'm like, the goal is always to be the best martial artist you can be. And so for me, it's being the one who showed that girls are just as dominant and as successful and as talented as the boys are. And I think I've done a pretty good job of that. Um, showing, we can be just as strong, just as fast, just as creative, all those kind of things, those kind of qualities that I feel are typically associated with men or with boys. I want those same qualities and characteristics to be associated with women. And I feel like now we're seeing just like this influx of so many talented young girls. I'm amazed by a lot of them. Like some girls on CE, we have, student Amanda. I just started working with another girl in an ATA competitor. She's amazing. I'm like, dude, this is awesome. Like you guys are
Wow.
so much better than me than I was when I
Right.
was that age. Um, so I think that's definitely one. And then also just being a positive energy. Um,
Always.
I know I can be sometimes not unapproachable, but when I'm focused, I have like this focused face that sometimes is a little, you know,
You see these eyebrows?
It's
That's what
just
muscle
it's just
that.
like it's not accurately describing how just happy I am. And I think just I hope that people remember always the interactions that I have with them.
Yeah.
That it's a positive one, that it's an inspiring one, whether it's my students or just someone who comes up to me. I just hope that it's always like a good experience and that people remember me for being a great competitor but an even better person.
Oh, it's tough. I was about
That
to
was
bark.
another bar. There's another bar.
I almost barked, but I didn't. I did it.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man, no, that's great. I think, everything that we talked about throughout the whole episode, kind of everything is just wrapped up there, like you just said. It's all the material things, the wins are great. It's all really cool, and we're so blessed to be in the position that we are, but not because we win, and we're not, we don't keep doing this for the win, right? But all the other things that we've talked about the whole time. So if you didn't catch the whole episode, you got to rewatch it right away. Like right away. And take notes. Get a journal out. Take notes.
There's so many good
gems,
gems in
right?
there.
So many. And so we're so blessed to have this connection and this bond. And so we're super grateful for y'all joining us tonight as well. This has been a pleasure as always. And where do we see you guys next? What's up? What's coming up soon?
OSGN. Ocean State's
Ocean
baby.
State.
Ocean
That's
State.
right.
Right back at it, just under 2 weeks. So Ocean State Grand Nationals in Rhode Island is going to be a great time. If you see us there, come up, ask questions, check us out, whatever you want to do. It's going to be a good time. But yeah, thank you guys so much for joining us. It's been awesome. You guys rock.
Guys.
What do you have behind you, by the way? Is that like a karate uniform or something?
Oh yeah. He knows. Look at that.
Ooh.
Yeah. Shout out to
Aw.
Century Martial Arts for
Ooh.
sending us this uniform for our wedding for everybody to sign.
So cool.
Yeah,
Yay. My sister's giant.
yeah. Emma just decided to take up the whole thing.
Giant.
It's pretty cool. We'll definitely get it in a shadow box, which would be nice.
Emma Grace.
Well, this has been amazing. Thank you guys so much for joining
Thank you
us
so
tonight.
much.
Yes,
Congratulations once again, you guys.
Thank you.
Of course.
I'll see you guys at the Ocean States.
Oh my God.
All right. So thank you everybody for tuning in. Had a great time. Thank you to Century Martial Arts for the continued support. Thank you to Sport Karate Zone and Jackson Rudolph for having us on this platform. It's always a pleasure. And this has been another episode of The Clean Truth. We'll catch you guys next time.
Clean Truth.